Welcome. Thank you for joining us here on Faces of Italy. My name is Chantel. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Shannon.
Hi there.
And today we're going to be whipping up a classic meatball and spaghetti dish, as well as the wonderful caprese salad. And Shannon, what are we finishing up with for dessert today?
Well, Chantel, what we're going to be wrapping up with are some yummy coconut kisses.
Yum. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Hi, and welcome back to Faces of Italy. I am your host, Shannon, and with me as always is...
Chantel.
We are going to be making right now a caprese salad. So we are going to be cutting up some tomatoes. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and get those going right here.
Now, what Shannon is doing is slicing up the beefsteak tomatoes in 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch slices, and that's going to be the base of the caprese salad. They're solid. They have a sweet, juicy flavor. Also, the same kind of tomato that you prefer on burgers, the cheeseburgers.
And also the bigger slices of tomato you use, you can also put bigger slices of mozzarella on there. Absolutely. So we're going to cut up a couple of tomatoes. And
the other ingredients that we're using are also going to be basil and a little S&P. And of course, our mozzarella cheese.
Very, very simple recipe. So I'm going to finish up this tomato here, and that'll give us about 6 slices. That's good for about 2 people, just to start you off. Okay, now we already have our mozzarella prepared right here. I'm going to go ahead and place some slices on top of the tomato.
Now, traditionally, you can also use buffalo tomato balls, which come in the plastic container, usually with liquid in the back. You can use any sort of mozzarella that's in your home. It's a really tactable cheese, so if you have shredded mozz, make a mozzarella patty.
Yeah,
Same
that'll
way.
work.
Improvise.
Yes. It's very, very simple. Now I'm going to ribbon some basil here. This is a very nice, fragrant herb. I'm just going to go ahead and cut the stem off. I'm going to roll this up. It's a nice little trick that Chef Chantel showed me earlier. You're going to roll it up just like this, and then you're going to cut it, and as you can see, it's already unrolling on its own. Get these in nice little even slices here. You're just going to place them on top. Probably want to cut up more than 1 leaf, but just to be even here. Oh, look at that. It came out just perfect. There we go. Chantel's helping me out, as always.
Get a little more going in here. We really like the flavor of the basil.
Yeah, and they're thrown around on the plate. That gives it a nice little decoration.
Go ahead and give us some S&P here, and then I'll
Okay.
finish and top it off with our balsamic vinegar
gonna
and
dust it with some
extra virgin
salt.
olive oil.
Oh, see how quick and how simple that is.
That one you may have to grind, Shannon. I don't think that's the shaker.
Well,
I like your style.
I wasn't quite sure.
All right,
because
ma'am,
the
go ahead and
salt.
hold back, and I'll do the balsamic vinaigrette and oil. Now, we always do balsamic vinaigrette first, and then we
Yes.
do the oil afterwards, so that our sauce adheres to our plate.
There is a method to her madness.
Drizzle, drizzle, drizzle.
Yeah,
All over there.
the sound effects are free.
Sound effects
That looks
always make
really
it more
good.
fun. All right, folks, and here we have a wonderful, fabulous caprese salad, an Italian
that.
classic,
Ah.
with beefsteak, tomatoes, mozzarella, ribboned basil, SP, balsamic, and olive oil.
Looks so good.
Thank you, Shannon.
Oh, thank you. What do you say? Teamwork makes the dream work there?
Welcome back again. We have Chantel and Shannon here, and we are going to start on our ground beef meatballs over spaghetti with a red sauce tomato base. We're going to start out with our spaghetti. We're going to put about 2 servings into already boiling water, already boiling salt water.
Yes.
Even better.
It boils quicker that way.
Get that going, and I'm going to preheat my burner for my meatballs as I start mixing together all of my ingredients. Now I did medium-high because it is meat. It's going to tss and be wonderful. We're going to stick some uvu in there because uvu is what we use. That's just how it is.
I'm going to go ahead and
All right.
preheat for my sauce as well.
Absolutely. Good plan,
Put that
Shannon.
on a medium-low, about
And
4.
As my pan is preheating for my meatballs, I'm going to start adding in my dry ingredients and egg to the meat. So we have about 1/2 pound of ground meat into the bowl. And
Next, what is that?
oregano.
Oh,
Fabulous.
such a nice smelling
scent.
herb.
And
Definitely smells like Italy.
I think
in
that
here.
ended up in the wrong spot. A little bit of garlic here. I have 2 cloves of garlic, and after I get this bowl out of the way, I'm going to show you guys how to crush a clove of garlic and make it really easy, because a lot of people fight with the garlic skin. We're doing about a 1/3 cup of breadcrumbs. Helps hold the meat together. And we're going to crack in 1 egg. And when I'm doing this, I'm going to mix all this together with my hands. You can see right in the bowl where nothing is actually mixed together yet. Ooh, I almost forgot the mustard. Hold that thought. We use our fingers here in the faces of Italy because there's no reason not to. It's what God gave you. And I wasn't born with a fork and spoon.
And she washed her hands before, I saw.
Now, Shannon over here is going to start putting together our sauce in the pan. Go
Yes,
ahead and
I
show
am.
them what we got, Shannon.
Well, we are going to start out with 2 14-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. So I've already got my burner preheated here. I've got it up to 3 or 4, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to 5 since I now have the tomatoes. You can see this going right into the pan. Woo! See the seam coming off that. Set that over here to the side. And next we are going to move on to some garlic. We've got some crushed up garlic, and as Chantel promised, we are going to see how to crush that later with the skin on. Correct, Chantel?
I'm going to tell you how to remove the skin from the garlic before we slice it, because that tends to be kind of the nuisance, is
Yes.
nobody can ever get all the skin off in its entirety.
So I've got 3 cloves going in right there. And I can use my fingers too, but I'm just choosing to use a spatula. Now also we've got 2 tablespoons of basil. We're going to go ahead and add that. Now I'm going to go ahead and start stirring that up. Get my ingredients nice and mixed. How's your ovo doing there, Chantel?
My ovo is fully heated, and now what I'm going to do is take about walnut-sized chunks of my ground beef and just start wrapping it around. We're going to flip our meatballs quite frequently and just brown the outsides. Cook them up maybe halfway through on medium-high heat. After these are just about cooked, we're going to transfer them over to the sauce that's going to be starting to warm up, getting bubbly.
Yeah, getting bubbly.
Getting a little bubbly. That one's a little big.
Yeah,
Overzealous.
it's looking nice right now. I have a few more ingredients to add.
And if you're in a little bit of a rush, and maybe you stayed at work a little late and the kids are super hungry, your husband's super hungry, and everybody's whining, make your meatballs a little bit smaller. They'll cook a little faster. I grew up baking my meatballs.
Yeah, I did too.
Not my preferred method. I really like the pan frying. I discovered the pan frying and I went with it.
It seems to bring out the flavor of the herbs a little bit more.
You're able to drain the grease off as well. I find that when I cook it, even with super lean beef in the oven, it tends to get that fat ring around it on the tin
No, you're
foil.
absolutely right. It does. It does.
All right, so how are we doing with the sauce here? Is it starting to sizzle yet?
Well, it's slightly bubbling. I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit more. I can see a few little bubbles forming in there. So now I'm going to crank it up to a medium-high, about a 7.
That sounds great. I need some hand sanitizer.
You think I should go ahead and add my onions there, Chantel, maybe?
You can absolutely add your onions.
Okay, so we have 1 medium-sized diced red onion. So I'm going to go ahead and just scoop those right on in there.
Now, like I said
Nice and
earlier,
soft.
we're going to want to flip our meatballs quite frequently. Chef on. because they will stick, they will get super brown, and they will fall apart.
Yeah, those look pretty well formed though. Those are not
They do.
going to be falling apart anytime soon.
No.
This smells really, really good.
It does smell really good. I wish that you could actually smell the essence through the TV.
I know, maybe when technology advances we'll have scratch and sniff television if we're
Scratch
lucky.
and sniff television, 4D. Bring the experience home. For an extra $29.99, you can have the meal delivered right at the front of your TV. Ideas.
You're so creative. You know, you should
Ideas.
copyright that because if you don't, somebody else is going to jump right on it.
All right, our pasta is boiling as well. You don't want to forget to stir your pasta, make sure it's not sticking together. And I'm going to go ahead and snag that cover from you, Shannon.
Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and add a teaspoon of sugar to our red sauce here. Just going to go ahead and pour that right in. Gives it a nice sweet flavor to offset all the other flavors we have going on in here. Oh, the pasta's looking good.
The pasta is looking good. We're going about halfway done. And most spaghetti needs to cook about 10 or 12 minutes under the boiling water. If you prefer it a little al dente, go closer to 10 minutes. A great way to show if your pasta's done or not is you grab your noodle and you just slice it in half. And if there is still a more white color in the center of the pasta, it needs a couple more minutes.
All right.
All right, so what I'm going to do now, because we're almost done, is we are going to take our meatballs and transfer them over to our sauce. We could let them brown a little bit more if we wanted, but they're brown on all sides. All right, welcome back. I'm going to have my friend Shannon here go ahead and tell us what else we're putting in the sauce to finish it up before we do our final simmering. I'm going to go ahead and take off the top for you, Shannon.
I appreciate that.
Tell our friends what we got going on here.
We're going to put in 1 tablespoon of chopped up parsley. I'm going to go ahead and add that. Yes. Then we are going to add, oh, thank you for stirring there, Chantel. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. Now, we already have measured out here what Chantel and I like to call a splash of red wine. There it goes. Oh, it splashed a little bit. You're such a good stirrer, Chantel.
Thank you. I tried.
And then she's got some practice. And then we're going to put in a pinch of grounded red pepper.
And when they say pinch, they mean pinch.
Yes.
You can always put a little more. You can never take any out.
This is true.
Then we're getting into more tomatoes, dulling the flavors, messing up. Just less is more. You can always add more. It's the same with salt. Now, we've gotten the rest of the sauce started. We're going to put the cover back on that, and we're just going to let it simmer for a little while. We're going to go ahead and check turn that down. We're going to check our pasta. Our spaghetti is just about ready to go on the plate. It looks wonderful. When that's finishing up, I'm going to show you guys how we can skin a garlic clove. A lot of people have trouble with garlic cloves. With the skin on,
really
you take it
helpful.
out of the clove, and you have this. Take the palm of your hand, squish it down. You can hear it.
Yes, you can.
It doesn't get juicy, anything like that. And then the skin literally just peels right off of it. And you're just left with this beautiful clove of garlic. Go ahead and take your chef knife, and you can re-squish it. Oops, we missed a piece. And that's going to activate all of the garlic essence. You're going to get the flavor that you love. And just dice it up.
What a helpful little hint there.
Tuck your fingers. I'm notorious for skinning my nails, getting the tips of it. Glass cutting boards are not my favorite, but we do make them work.
Yes, we do.
We're going to give the sauce a stir again, just to see how it's going. And those meatballs should be cooked right about all the way through now. And with meat, you want it about 165 degrees. You can go 155, 160 if you like a little less done. Red meat is one of those meats that you don't have to cook all the way through. Now, I'm going to have my tongs, and I'm going to bring our serving platter over. I'm going to start dishing out the spaghetti onto the platter. Yum, yum, yum. Here we go. It's
Now,
wonderful.
you said you could tell it was done by just cutting through a noodle, correct?
You can. Would you like to see that?
Sure, that would be great.
All right. I wouldn't suggest grabbing noodles right out of the pot. If you're at home, you can maintain your nerve endings. Now, I'm not sure if we can actually see it here. The close-up may not be possible. But you see it in the center of the noodle. There is no more white.
No.
It is fully cooked right now and ready to go. And it's a little over al dente, but not mushy.
That's probably a little more reliable than the method I was taught as a child. Take a noodle out and throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it's done.
I like it. I like it. All right, so we're just going to spoon this right on top of the spaghetti here. Couple meatballs, a little bit of sauce. Oh, look at that sauce. The tomatoes and the onions have cooked all together.
That chunky sauce.
You can tell when the onions are just about done because they're going to get a little bit opaque.
Yes.
Get a little bit of the juice in there.
Now you can add your onions and your garlic in your pan first, but if you're going to let it sit and cook for a while, then it's okay to add them in after the tomato.
And excuse me, Shannon,
Yes.
I'm a sucker for detail.
Yes, you
So
are.
I am going to do a little basil ribbonette
Ooh, fun.
to go right over the top because I think they're pretty.
It does make a nice garnish, and it does add some good flavor as well.
It's just going to complement it. Here's my little Parmigiano as well. It's all in the details, guys. I won't say the magic word. I'm not Emerald. All right, folks. And now, here is our homemade spaghetti and meatballs and tomato sauce. And you see how quick and easy that is? You can make homemade meatballs for your family, and they can be healthy, and they can be delicious. You don't have to eat out of a frozen bag.
And they
nobody
don't have
likes
to be
frozen
time-consuming
meatballs.
either.
Not at all. You can stay a little late.
Yes, you can.
Now, with the rest of this sauce, what we're going to want to do is let it continue to cook down. The sauce will thicken the meatballs.
Now we can turn down the heat at this point. We've already got
Absolutely.
it on low. And it's a good idea to go ahead and put the lid back on, correct?
Absolutely. We like that as well.
We're going to keep the heat in there.
Now, I want to try some. Shannon, what do you think? You want
I
to
think
try
that's
some?
a great idea.
All right. Well, I got a fork right here. There's no need to go caveman style.
No, there's not.
Now,
All right. Oh, I'm going to get
mix
a
it all
meatball
in
in
there.
there.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Part of the meatball. That looks really good.
And you can see the insides of the meatballs are just
Completely done.
cooked beautifully. Little tomato. Twisty,
Little
twisty,
tomato.
twisty, twisty,
Yep,
twisty.
some onion. Got it all in there. Okay. Not the best meal to eat on a first date, maybe, right?
Cheers.
Cheers. Absolutely.
The garlic, the spices coming through on the meatballs are absolutely divine.
So good. I've got to get another bite.
Repeat.
Job well done.
Oh, thank you. I didn't hear you at first.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So it's fast, it's easy, it's delicious, it's Italian.
Welcome back to Faces of Italy. I am your host, Shannon, and with me, as always, is...
Chantel.
We're going to wrap up today's episode with some yummy Italian kisses.
Yum.
What a way to top off this meal with some great coconut kiss desserts. We're going to start off with 3 cups of grated coconut. Now, we already have that in our bowl, and we're going to mix everything in on top of that. So, we are going to mix in 1 stick of melted butter. Now, Chantel is going to go ahead, and she is going to get the parchment paper ready on our baking sheet, so she's going to have that prepped when I get these rolled into our walnut-sized balls. Thank you, Chantel.
You're welcome, Shannon.
All right.
Now, just to keep going, we have our oven set on about 200 degrees. There's a lot of sugar in this dish. There is a lot of sweetness, and as we all know, sugar burns fast. So they cook fast, they burn fast. You want to cook them low. So we have our oven over here. It's going to be set on 200. You always want to check the inside of your oven as well, folks, and make sure that there's nothing inside of it. Because I don't know if you have roommates, kids, husbands, they all love to put stuff inside the oven for storage, and then you go to preheat it, you're putting in your food, and bam,
There's something in there.
there's stuff in the oven.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and crack open this egg, and I'm going to use our handy-dandy whisker, which I have right here. Whisk, 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 whisk. Thanks for the sound effects. get that
It's
all.
nice whisking skills you have there, Shannon.
Why, thank you very much. I've been practicing. All right, we want to get a nice consistency there before we add that in. Going to go ahead and pour that into our coconuts and our butter. All right, now I'm going to add in half of a squeezed lemon. All right, so that's going to go in there. I like to stir a little bit after every addition.
Not necessarily needed, but
Something I like to do.
something to blend individual ingredients is fine.
Now we're going to add in 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And on top of that, we have a tablespoon of honey. Now, it's kind of stuck in the bottom there a little bit, so I'm going to use this nice rubber spatula to get that out.
Now, Shannon, that rubber spatula is great for non-stick flipping as well. So if you wanted to flip the coconut, the sugar, the butter, the eggs, the honey all together with that spatula, you wouldn't have to dirty as many utensils.
This is true. I can just transition right into that. So we're going to get all of this mixed together, and that's all of our ingredients: the butter, the egg, the sugar, the honey, the lemon, and of course our base.
And then Shannon's going to go ahead and bring the bowl over on my end, and I am going to show you how to roll it out, put it on the parchment, and we're going to get it back in the oven and show you what our finished product looks like. Shannon, if you wouldn't mind.
Of course not. It's a very nice, quick, and easy dessert. I'm going to take this out
Thank
for
you.
you.
Actually would
Keep that
love
there.
it. I'm going to
Stir it a little
one
bit
more little squish. A lot of times you can squish it too. See right here in the bowl.
Yeah, that gets the ingredients mixed together.
Absolutely.
Really
You don't want
well.
any sugar chunks. You don't want any honey chunks. Everything well blended. Now, I'm old school. I'm from the country. I use my hands a lot. We want about walnut sizes. Again, good portions. And I've rolled out parchment paper and put it on a cookie sheet. Now, because of so much sugar, again, I reiterate, the parchment paper is going to make it stick less. You don't need any extra butter. There's enough butter in the coconut. I'm just pushing it together. Now I'm going to do all 4 corners first so my parchment paper actually sticks.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing about parchment paper. It comes in a roll, so it's going to curl right up on you. Smart thinking.
Now, these go in the oven for, I believe, 6 to 8 minutes.
That's correct.
Just until they're golden brown, which you'll see the outcome in just a couple minutes. All right, I am going to grab these and throw these in the oven. You can see what that product looks like. You know what? The pan's not hot. I don't need a pot holder.
No, pan's not hot. She's just being safe.
Or silly. All right. That one, however, is. All right, folks. Here we go. And, oh
And
my
they
goodness.
fluffed up really nicely,
They look
too.
absolutely beautiful. We're going to take this, actually, we're going to serve dessert a little wild today. Here we go. And again, 4 simple ingredients, 5 simple ingredients. Butter, eggs, honey, coconut. Butter, eggs, honey, coconut, and
lemon
lemon
juice.
juice. And here we go, folks. We have coconut crisps. Coconut kisses. Love them. They're sweet, they're delectable, they're crunchy. Thank you. We'll be right back. Buongiorno, welcome back. Thank you for being here. We're just going to review quickly. We did our caprese salad this morning, and then we switched over to...
We switched over to our meatballs and spaghettis right here. And
Family
then at the
favorite.
end, we've got our Italian kisses.
Mwah,
Made with coconut.
lovely.
Yummy.
All right, Shannon, thank you very much for joining us. And as usual, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you here next time on Faces of Italy with Chantel and Shannon. And you can also check out all of our recipes online at www.facesofitaly.tv. Thank
Food, family,
you.
and friends.
Ciao. All right, folks, I'm just gonna take a few seconds to tell you about some basic Italian ingredients, fresh herbs that you wanna keep around your kitchen handy. The first one and most important would be our garlic bulb. When we break off the clove, it just looks something like this. Smell the pungent aroma coming through. And then thyme is another one of our favorites. And then our basic basil leaf. And don't forget about oregano and parsley as well. Thank you.